ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਹਾਰਦਿਕ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਮੁਸਕਾਨ ਵਿਰਕ ਨਾਲ। 10 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥਣ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਉਸਨੇ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਅਨਗ੍ਰੇਟਫੁਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਇਸ ਬੱਚੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਆਥਰ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਅਤੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦੇ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਾਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। आओ पेश कर रहे हैं की गई गलबात मुस्कान विर्क नाल। So Muskan, tell me a little bit about yourself. That how did you get the idea of writing a book?
So it happened when I was learning about gender inequality when I was 6 years old, and then that really turned my perspective on life, and it made my perspective change a little bit. So whenever a little thing happened at school, I used to get so mad about it and be like, oh no, this happened and this is never going to work. So then my mom gave me a journal and she gave me a pen and she told me to write what I was thankful for in a day. So after a little while she forgot, and I came to her after a year and I told her, Mom, guess how many things I am grateful for? And she's like, how many? And I'm like, 455. And she's like, wow. So then she said we should publish it to inspire other people to make sure that they are grateful for what they have instead of focusing on what they don't have.
6-year-old and your perspective changed. What was that thing which made you think, or your perspective got changed? Was there some special moment which got kind of, made up your mind that, no, I'm going to write this, this book? When your mother said, the journal, what you have been writing, now let's put it into a book form?
So it happened when my grandmother brought a flyer home from school. From the Gurdwara, and I had no clue what it meant because it was all in Punjabi and I couldn't read it. But all I could read was October 20th, and that was the only thing that was in English. And that's my birthday. So as soon as a 6-year-old, if anything's happening on your birthday, you want to go. So then I took the flyer to my mom, and she looked at it and she put it away. And then I take it to her again, and she looks at it and she puts it away. And then I get it, and finally I sit her down and I tell her, Mom, what is it? And she says, first of all, she was kind of hesitant of what she was going to say, but then she said that it was about gender inequality and how some families, they liked boys over girls, or that they kill the girls in the womb before they're born, or they just don't treat them as well as they treat boys. Right. So then that's what really sparked me to change my perspective at such a young age, because it wasn't fair to me. Right. I was a girl and I got to go to school and I didn't have to stay home and work, but to hear that some girls had to stay home and that they couldn't go to school kind of changed my perspective on life, and I kept looking at the bad things instead.
Great. So basically, how old are you now?
I'm 10.
10 now, okay. Yeah. So during this 4-year period, you have been journaling every day, you write. When we talk about being grateful, what do you think? What does that mean to you as such? And why do you want to spread this message that we should be always grateful for everything what we have?
Well, I think being grateful is just being happy for what you have, instead of saying, oh, I don't have this, but then you should be thankful for what you have and then be able to help someone else feel happy for what they have too.
And again, in the class also, like your friends and your teachers. So after you started talking about this and when this book was published, what kind of impact are you having on them also?
Well, I used to go to school and I was always jolly and happy. And my friends, they kind of, because before I was going through a period, a phase where I wasn't really happy with anything, and they were really happy because I was already happy. So then they were happy with me, and it was just really fun at school.
Who's the source of inspiration for all this?
I think my mom is the most inspiration because she was really there to support me if it was from how to write a word or if it was to how to publish the book and going to speeches and doing different speeches. She's always been there to support me.
So being an author is a big thing, and especially I think you are the youngest in the Indo-Canadian community, I would say, that who has come forward and written this book. And in this book, tell us a little bit about this. As you said, you had over 450 daily writings, but from that you started selecting. So every day, what was your aim? What kind of things have you put forward?
Well, because I was 6, I was looking for I have one that I really love. It's I'm thankful for hot chocolate and with the big marshmallows. As a kid, I'm going to be looking for the little things that make me so happy. And then it just became a fun thing to do after a little while. Instead of being oh, I have to write one thing every day, it became like a game. It came really fun to do. I did it with a spirit that I use in a game. So that's how that's what I wrote down, things that made me happy that I had. Sometimes I have troubles with my friends at school, but we always get over it. And that's just the little things that make everyone happy.
Tell us a little bit about your home environment, because generally what happens at home is, as youngsters, we parents always try to stop children from doing, don't do this, don't do that. And that kind of encouragement is not there as such. Well, of course, every parent wants their child to succeed. But what was so special in your mom that you found that you made her as your source of inspiration?
Well, my mom, she's really been there for me. If it was doing taekwondo, which I became a black belt in, or if it was writing, doing homework, she's always been there just to help me with the little things that just changed my look on life or how I would just acted as a person.
And also you have been going in the community and at events you are promoting the book as such, and people are coming forward. And just recently at Global Girls Bar you were there, and when you go there and talk to the people and they see this book, what kind of inspiration do you get from them?
Well, I get inspiration from them. It's because they're a lot older than me usually. So I get inspiration oh, keep going, or keep writing books, keep inspiring people. And I think that really helps because it gets you motivated to do more.
And now you're going on a tour of United States. You're going to LA, you're going to go to New York also. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you going to do over there?
So in LA, I'm talking to a Midnight Mission, which is 100-year-old homeless people mission, and I'm talking to 1,000 homeless people, and I'm going to serve their meal. I'm going to get a tour of the place, and then I'm going to talk to them, and then I'm going to give them notes that say that you're loved inside, and then on the front says "Dear Human," because sometimes they don't hear that you're loved, or sometimes their parents never told them that. Or maybe they were born on the street, so they've never got that love from their parents or from anyone else.
So that's the mission which you're spreading, and you also kind of created a foundation of yourself. What is its name?
It's called Helping Hands organization,
Okay.
and it helps homeless people before they become homeless. It helps them to hold their hand. And how I conceived this is because I was hearing a man, he was talking about his journey and how he became homeless, and his father was an alcoholic. He had drinking habits, and because his family environment was so broken, he tried to stay out of the house a lot more. And then every night he used to stay out so long, and he got into bad habits like drugs and staying out late. And every night he used to come home, and his mom was always there, just waiting for him. And then one night he stayed out for a long period of time, and he came back, and the couch his mom usually sat on was outside, and his neighbor told him that his mom died of cancer. So he got really impacted by that. But if there was someone there to hold his hand at that time, he wouldn't have become homeless. He would have still been a teenager, being able to go to school and doing what regular teenagers do.
So what you want to do is spread unconditional love without judgment.
Yeah, because you can't judge them until you actually know them. You can't judge them until you know what they've been through and what their story is.
And finally, tell us, after this book now, are you planning something else also? Are you planning to write some more books, or you will just continue to promote this book first and work on your foundation and then think of writing some book?
Well, actually, I have a few ideas that I'm going to share a little later on because I have a really good idea about helping homeless people and helping people to understand their perspective of homeless people.
And finally, you want to give any message to our youngsters who are listening to this program today, watching this program?
Be grateful for what you have instead of focusing on what you don't have. You have to be thankful for what you already got and be able to help someone else who doesn't have as much as you do.
Wonderful. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you.